Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. And everybody who's new here, my name is Vanessa. I'm 24 years old and I do makeup as a hobby on YouTube and Instagram. I put my Instagram right up here. Please follow me, it would really help me out. I post almost every day. I used to post every day, but lately I'm kind of like slacking, so I'm sorry. But today I wanted to touch on a different subject, especially because I didn't or I never had the intention to only do makeup on my channel. I actually try to, touch on different subjects, especially because I'm a mom. I have a daughter, she's 7 months old, and she really lights up my heart. Like, I really, really, really love her, but I think every mom would say that about their child. So I'm kind of trying to, just touch on, I really want to talk about sleep training. Because I had to sleep train my little lady, and let me tell you, it was not easy. And I'm just going to start with going all the way back to when my daughter was around 3 months old. Her name is Flora Soleil. Flora is kind of like for flower or something. Soleil is French for sun. So I kind of really like I don't know, the way how these names work together. I just kind of like them. Flowers kind of need sun to grow and stuff. So I don't know, I just liked it. It's just like the combination. I just liked it. Whatever. Okay, so when she was around 3 months old, or kind of like always, she has been a baby that needed assistance to go to sleep. She also has been a very like bad sleeper. Like, she was not one of those babies who you would nurse and then they sleep for 3-4 hours a day, or like after getting nursed. I do have to say, I've been nursing her ever since she has been born. I just stopped nursing maybe like a month ago and transitioned to bottle feeding, but that's like a different subject. So the thing with her was that she would nurse and she would fall asleep while nursing, and then she would not nurse fully, and then on top of all that, obviously she would get hungry faster. So my midwife told me, you have to like keep waking her up so she drinks enough and all that stuff, and then she would go to sleep and then she would sleep longer. Well, let me tell you, I've been doing this for ever since she's been born till I guess I got tired at like when she hit like 5 months, because her sleep pattern has gotten worse and worse. Up to this point, I would get up at least 5 times a night to nurse, and she is used to getting like back to sleep by me nursing her and rocking her, or like patting her on the back and stuff like she would need a lot of assistance going back to sleep. So at 5 months, she has gotten so worse that I couldn't even lay her down to sleep no more, because she would wake right up. So I started like investigating and like doing a lot of research on why is she behaving this way? Why is she not like one of these babies that sleep like a long period of time after being nursed? If they fall asleep, they sleep for maybe 30 to 45 minutes, and then they naturally, how every other human being would, like adults or whatever, they wake up and then they go back to sleep. As humans, us adults, I mean, when we fall asleep and then we wake up after one sleep cycle, we don't even realize it, because naturally we just go back to sleep. Sometimes we wake up in the middle of the night, but mostly there are times that we wake up in the middle of the night and we are not even realizing it, because we are used to just going back to sleep. And babies kind of still have to learn that, and some just naturally do it and some just don't. And Flora, she was just some of those babies who just couldn't do it. So she would sleep on her naps maybe 30-45 minutes, and then she would wake back up, and then she couldn't go back to sleep, because like I said, she couldn't find a transition from one sleep cycle to the next, which makes her then sleep longer. Like, the second sleep cycle actually makes them sleep for a long period of time, and Flora just didn't do that. So she would sleep, like I said, 30-45 minutes, and then she would wake up and she wouldn't go back to sleep. So her naps would be maybe 3-4 naps a day, until we had naps that only lasted 10 minutes. We had naps that only lasted 20-30 minutes, and we've been had naps like that for a long time. Like in the beginning, when she was like really like an infant, like really little, she would maybe sleep like an hour, but she would wake back up. So ever since that, I've been doing this like since she was born till like 5 months, and then I got tired because I couldn't even lay her down no more. Like I had like a bouncing ball, and usually she would have like a certain type of music, and I would like hold her and I would just bounce with her until she would go to sleep. And then when I feel like she is asleep, I would lay her down, right? So at some point, the laying down would be literally like they have those memes on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere, like you literally holding like a ticking bomb, or you're holding a grenade or something. Like it is like very sensitive territory to lay your child down, because they could literally wake back up, right? Well, that's how Flora was. I would lay her down, she would wake up while I'm laying her down. So at some point I got frustrated, especially at night, when I would wake with her like 15 times, 10-15 times, instead of 5 times the tops. It would like just double, or like even go like 15 times. I would constantly have to lay her back down or bring her back to sleep after her laying in bed, because then she would switch from one cycle to the next, and she would wake up and she wouldn't know how to bring herself back to sleep. So I did some research and I came up with sleep training, which I was very like against in the beginning, because I felt like it wouldn't really benefit her. Like I felt like it wouldn't benefit her, it would kind of like damage her psychologically. So I just didn't really know what her issue was or whatever. So after I did some research, I realized that her issue is she can't switch from these cycles into the next one. So obviously she needs to training of that. And then there are different methods. There are methods where you do like the Ferber method, I think. It's like you kind of like have a evening routine, for example, which is taking a bath, and then you rub them with a scented lotion or something. You sing a song, something like that. And you do this every evening to every time, like always the same time. You tell them they're going to sleep. You put on the white noise or whatever music you think is soothing for your child. They say white noise kind of is like good because it triggers something in the brain. I don't even know. I don't even want to tell something, because I know I didn't use the white noise. I just used some music that she was kind of used to. And you lay them in bed, you tell them good night, you walk out. And then you have intervals, I don't really know how to say that word. Pretty much after 3 minutes you walk in, because your baby is gonna go off. She's gonna cry, she's gonna be upset because you are not doing the usual thing that you do to bring her to sleep. So she or he, your child just doesn't know what's going on. It's new to them. They are used to you bringing them to bed, and it's not happening, so they're upset. So they're pretty much just voicing their issue or their problem about, hey, why you not bringing me to sleep? Like, what's going on? And because they only can scream, they're gonna scream and they're gonna cry, and it's all okay. Like, I had to really get into it and research a lot to understand that it's okay for a child to cry, because I was very emotional about it in the beginning, but I will come to that in a second. Okay, so you do all your stuff and whatever, and you walk back in at a certain time, and then you kind of like let them know that you are here, but you are not supposed to be longer in the room than like 10 seconds or something, or up to 2 minutes, and then you just walk back out. And then you just increase the time of when you're walking back in, which means if you walked in the first time at 3 minutes, the next time you wait 5 minutes and then you walk back in. And then it just goes up, and then the next day you start with maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then you go up. And then at some point your child is supposed to learn how to fall asleep on its own. I'm gonna tell you how I did it, because I didn't really know what method would work for me. You have to kind of feel it out first, in my opinion, to actually go through with it, because the things, As soon as you start doing this process, you can't go back until your child is sleep trained, until your baby goes to sleep on its own. That's just how it is. Like, you can't just go back to putting them to sleep. At least it didn't work for me, because I did stop at some point because I just couldn't handle it. Like, honestly, I just couldn't handle it. Because I live in a very like limited space, like a 2-bedroom apartment, which means I have a living room and have a bedroom, and then I have a separate kitchen and a bathroom, and that's it. So our baby sleeps not with us in bed, but her crib is right next to my bed, and I only have as other area the living room, which I'm in right now. So obviously, we have like a very limited space. So I started doing the sleep training with in the evening. I pretty much gave her bath, because baths make babies tired. I selected a song, a German song, that I would sing to her, and while that I would rub her down with her lotion. I would try to feed her 30 minutes before I give her, like before she goes to sleep, which means I give her a bottle at a certain time. You set the time when, you know, your baby's kind of getting tired. So you set the time. Let me say Flora gets tired at 8 o'clock. Then I would give her the bottle at 8 o'clock, and then, or nurse, whatever you do. And then I would give her a bath. The bath might take 10 minutes, like it's really just a short bath just to tire your baby out, just to calm it down, because bath is soothing. And then you go to the bedroom, you get your baby, do whatever, sing song, do whatever, but you pretty much develop a routine. And then you lay your child in bed, I laid her in bed, and then I told her good night, that I love her, and I just walked out. And I shut the light, and I told her she's going to sleep, and I just walked out. And then it was pretty much, in the beginning, she would immediately go off, like she would literally go ape peep, like she would just go off, and I would be in a different room, and I would be like, okay, let me just wait, right? So I waited, and like the first night, I have to tell you, I waited maybe like 5 minutes. I walked back in, because I wanted to do that method where you walk back in and out, but it just didn't work for me, because it was worse for me to like walk back in. She sees me, she goes off more, I walk out, and like I just couldn't do it. So I kind of transitioned from the Ferber method to the cry it out method, which is pretty much you just leave the room and you just let the baby cry it out. And it sounds brutal, I know it sounds brutal, but for me it just didn't work. Like I just couldn't walk back in when she was almost calming down, and then she sees me, and I'm like the source of soothing, and I'm like her rescue or whatever, but then I don't rescue her, right? So I'm kind of keeping her hopes up. That's how it was for me. So I just did that twice. I walked in twice, and then I decided to not walk in no more. So I pretty much did that twice after 5 minutes. And then I just stopped going in until she went to sleep. And it took her 30 to 45 minutes, I think, to go to sleep. But she then went to sleep. And then she slept for 4 hours. And then she woke back up in the middle of the night. And she would cry for maybe 30 minutes, on and off. Like you could feel like she is calming down, and then she's waking back up, and not waking back up, but she's calming down, and then she's realizing I'm not there, or like she's still alone. So she would like, that's my impression of it, and then she would like complain a little bit more, but it would go like every single time less and less. So it would take her maybe 30 minutes, and then she would sleep for another 4 hours or 3 hours or something, I don't really recall. And then she would wake back up, and then it would be 10 minutes, and she would go back to sleep, and then she would wake up. And the reason why I stopped the sleep training after, I would say, 4 days, or on the 4th day, was because her whole vibe was different towards me. She still would smile at me, and she would still, you know, giggle with me and stuff, but she would be very sensitive to me leaving the room. Like I would have her sitting somewhere, and she would kind of go off. Like if I leave the room, she would be like, whoa, where are you going? Like, you know, she would realize, like she would be very like, how you say that, very alert to what I'm doing, like very conscious about where's mama going, right? So I had an issue with that, and I felt like it would break something between me and her, but it was just her, like, I don't know, it was just like that. Now it's not like this at all. Like now it's completely different. But back then, new to the whole territory, new to the whole situation, I felt like I let her down. So I try to make up for it, but of course she just still had to adjust to it. And that's something I had to learn as well, that she just had to adjust to it. So after the 4th day, I stopped the sleep training, and I would tell you, like, our nights were horrible. Like the first night was horrible. She could not go back to sleep. Even if I would assist her going to sleep, she just couldn't sleep. So the first night was okay, and then like throughout the day with the naps, you kind of do like the same thing. You select times when you see sleepy cues, touching like the ear, or like, you know, scratching behind the ear, or rubbing the eyes or stuff, like, or yawning. You know your baby's getting tired, so you tell the baby sleepy, you're going to sleep and stuff like that, and then you just lay them in bed. And I would say the naps throughout the day are harder to get the baby adjust to than like the nighttime. And also what they tell you to do is you kind of help your baby to get used to wake up, eat, play, and then go to sleep. So your baby doesn't associate eating with going to sleep, as in your baby doesn't associate having a full stomach with going to sleep, which now honestly is stupid to me, which now I don't do. But in the beginning I did that, but then when I stopped doing that, the whole sleep training had, you know, started being better. So after I did that, it was just like, okay, I just have to go through with this because I already started and she was doing progress, and now we took like 5 steps back, so I just have to keep sleep training her. So when I continued doing the sleep training, I got emotional support from my mom and from people that are just in my life, because my mom sleep trained my sister, my little sister, so she was like, that's just like that, and you realize that there's an issue with her going to sleep, so now you just have to go through with it. Because I was crying on the phone, and I told her like, I can't do this, and I feel like, and I was like really crying because I was so upset, because I wasn't feeling well with the whole situation, even though now knowing it just really helped out Flora. So you just have to remind yourself that you're helping your child and that it's not something damaging to your child, like it's really helping your child. Because if you don't sleep train at an early age, then they will end up going into your bed at evening or at night when they're like 3-4 years old, because they're used to a certain condition from them, like going to sleep or sleeping, right? And I kind of didn't want that. So when I continued, like I said, when I continued the sleep training, she would be half full, like she would have eaten in between the times going to sleep, so she would kind of be full, but she wouldn't be hungry, because I had the issue before. I feel like she was hungry, and that's why the going back to sleep part just took her like so long. And the crazy thing is, if you think about it, your child is used to eating and then going to sleep, like that's just how it is. So why not, you know, like it just didn't make sense to me. And some people might say your baby's not fully sleep trained because of that, but I feel like it just is better, and she just sleeps better the way how I'm doing it now. So I'm thinking I have been sleep training for maybe a month, but I would say after 2 weeks fully sleep training her and continuously doing the same, like your baby needs set times, as in it goes to sleep at the same time, it takes the naps at the same time, or kind of takes the nap at the same time. So everything is just a routine, and babies love routine. So if you have a routine with your child, they're gonna know, oh, I'm taking a bath, I'm gonna go to sleep soon. or when you do a certain thing before they take a nap, they know, okay, I'm gonna take a nap now, right? And she just got used to it. So I would give her a bath, do the lotion, sing a song, lay her to sleep. And if I think about it, like I said, after 2 weeks, she would sometimes maybe a little bit complain, like maybe 2-3 minutes she would like complain, but she wouldn't cry, and she would go to sleep, and she would sleep hours. Like an hour and a half, which is a dream, because before that I just really didn't have that. So ever since she turned like 6.5 months, or like, yeah, 6.5 months, she skipped one nap. So now she only takes one nap a day, but that nap lasts for 2 or 3 hours, which is amazing, because 2 or 3 hours a day, I haven't had that much like free time without her for like a very long time. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, like I said, when I put her to sleep now, she's like laughing, like she's smiling at me, like, and she's like moving her arms, and she's being excited about going to sleep, because she knows she's going to sleep, and she likes going to sleep now, because you know, she knows she's going to sleep, and she has like her like she knows what's going on. You know, before that she didn't know what was going on when I laid her down, but now she knows what's going on, so she's excited. Like she knows it's always like the same time, like she goes to sleep at 8 o'clock. She wakes up between 8 or 9, sometimes even 10, it depends. And she takes her first nap, or her only nap now, the latest at, I would say, 2 o'clock. Usually she always takes it at 2 o'clock. And not later than that. 2:30 would be probably the latest, and then she sleeps till 4:30, and then she's up till 8, and then she goes to sleep. She might wake up at, yeah, it depends, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. She gets a bottle, she goes back to sleep, and she sleeps till 10, and then we wake up. And I'm trying to keep this routine up for like as long as possible, but when I know I have to give her like to daycare or kindergarten or anything like that, then of course I will have her get up the first time she wakes up, and not extend like her sleep with a bottle till like 10 o'clock. So then she will wake up maybe 6, 7 o'clock, and then she will just start her day. And then I don't have issues with waking her up, and then, you know, having her like wake up and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope I covered everything, because I feel like it was kind of all over the place. If you want more information how I actually really did it, and how her sleep schedule really was in the beginning, I'm really happy to give that information to you. I did take notes within, like, I would say the first 3 weeks of her going into the sleep training process, because I wanted to see the progress of how long she slept, what time she actually fell asleep, how long did she cry and stuff like that. I really like noted that in my notebook. So if you want to know, like the video, comment underneath it, like comment below, and I will link below the videos I watched on YouTube regarding sleep training, because like I said, I informed myself about it. And yeah, if you liked what you see, if you're interested in my content regarding sleep training and stuff like that, just subscribe me. It would really help me out, and I hope you liked the video, like I said. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!